Just 3 days into 2025. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome back from the festivities. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango and this is News Tonight. First though, let's look at the top stories.
Brought to you by Greenergy Ethanol Stoves and Fuel. Enjoy cleaner, healthier and affordable cooking. Cook your food in less than 2,000 shillings per day. No charcoal. Stop deforestation. We are looking for agents across Uganda. Greenergy, Bible Corner.
Museveni and his Kenyan counterpart Ruto attend the Pinyi Luo Culture Festival. Government announces a recruitment of 2,821 diploma and a certificate degree teachers holder. Kira court sentences child abuser. And lastly, Democratic Alliance leaders pledges support to Ugandan youth in ghettos. Once again, thank you so much for allowing us into your space. Now, into the news. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni reaffirmed that a well-secured and united East Africa will foster development and continue to drive integration among member states and communities. Museveni attended this year's annual regional Pinyi Luo Cultural Festival in Siaya County, Kenya. The event was graced by local leaders, including Kenyan President, His Excellency William Ruto. Let's hear more in this report.
Ramogi Hill Shrines in Siaya County, Kenya was the place to be on Thursday, 2nd January 2025, as hundreds gathered to celebrate the annual regional Pinyi Luo Cultural Festival. The cultural festival brought together the Luo-speaking communities from Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia and South Sudan, with Uganda's President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni leading the Ugandan delegation.
So we are happy. We Kenya and Uganda, we are brothers. We of course have the artificially created borders which were drawn somewhere in Berlin, where none of our forefathers were represented.
Museveni was on the invitation of his Kenyan counterpart, His Excellency William Ruto.
Are the Mzee of our region. You have demonstrated great resilience. When I requested you, as the Right Honorable Prime Minister has said, you graciously informed me that any event that brings East Africans together is an event that...
As part of the celebration, President Museveni was crowned as a Luo elder. His Excellency Yoweri Museveni was crowned alongside his host, Kenya's President William Ruto, and former Kenyan Prime Minister Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
The view is that these borders, we don't need to become impediments to cooperation and working together.
Led by Governor of Siaya County, James Orengo, President Museveni, in company of William Ruto and Honorable Raila Odinga, had a guided tour at Jaramogi Oginga, Mesolonium, and the 4 Luo traditional huts representing the 4 sons of Luo. Museveni hailed the past and present leaders of the East African countries like Kenya and Tanzania, raising the need for integration.
Number 3, ensure that never again will Africa be under threat. Strategic security. Never be under threat from anybody, whatever. So which means you have to build new strength. But that sort of strength of spears and so on is not what we need now. We need strength which can defend us from all threats.
He reassures that an integrated East Africa and Africa will spur unity, security and development.
Some people go to the moon, and for us we are here. They are looking at us from there as if we are small insects. And they can spray things on us we don't even know. And we are just here, defense forces. What are you defending? You don't even know what is in the sky. How do you achieve this? Use the undugu, which is already existing. If there are Jaruos in Congo, in Uganda, in South Sudan, in Ethiopia, in Kenya, in Tanzania, why don't you use that? Why don't you use it to bring these countries together?
He also reaffirmed his support to Raila Odinga's candidature for the African Union job.
Now that we are beginning to use this approach of getting the people together, I am very happy. Where I heard what the professor was saying, that you played football, you wrestled and so on. But I wish you had added one political item. Not 2, not 3.
From here, the delegation headed to Sia for the grand opening of the newly constructed Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Stadium. Kenya's soccer club Gor Mahia and Uganda's Kitara FC contested in an eye-opener match, with Uganda's side losing it on 9-8 on penalties. Newly built stadium has a seating capacity of 20,000 supporters. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Robert Onyango, for that update. Now, the Ministry of Education and Sports is set to recruit 2,821 teachers for the 91-seat schools opening in the 2025 academic year. The chairperson of the Education Service Commission, Dr. Samuel Luboga, says eligible candidates will be both degree and diploma holders. As we hear more.
The Education Service Commission has created 10 clusters to streamline the recruitment process for the 2,821 teachers needed for newly established seed schools.
Each designated center will receive application forms for only schools in that cluster. To strictly use application form UGIFT/2/2024 and the summary form UGIFT/2/2024, which can be accessed on the Education Service Commission website.
Interested candidates are to submit their applications in person at cluster offices between January 6th and 10th, 2025.
Bring their applications individually, they don't send anyone. If an application is sent by someone, it will not be received. And when they arrive, they'll find a box where they drop the application. They will not have the luxury of talking to somebody and receiving help from anybody from the Education Service Commission. The person will be at a distance only to watch you drop in your application and sign registering your application.
The Commission has allocated 1.3 billion shillings to expedite the process before the academic year starts on 4th of February.
An application form, if you don't handle it well, is equivalent to money, illegal money. And we want to advise our applicants not to send the application forms through agents.
The Commission's recruitment advert includes diploma in education bearers.
Still under discussion, and that matter of having teachers with only degrees is actually creating a lot of debate. But at the moment, the Commission recruits both diploma and degree holders.
The recruitment will cover 2,093 teaching staff, 182 administrators, and 546 non-teaching staff.
School will receive 31 staff, and these will include 2 administrators, meaning head teacher and deputy head teacher. The application process for those was completed online on the 8th December 2024. The 31 would also include 6 non-teaching staff and 23 teaching staff for different subjects.
At the end of the exercise, 637 science graduate teachers will be engaged, 637 arts graduate teachers will be hired, 364 diploma science teachers, and 455 diploma arts teachers will be enlisted.
And for arts teachers for each school, at the diploma level, each school is going to get 5 teachers. Graduate science teachers will be 7. School graduate arts teachers will be also 7.
The 91 schools are part of the second batch of 115 seed schools under the Uganda Intergovernment Fiscal Transfer Program, or UGIFT, supported by the Ministry of Education and Sports. Patricia Lukoma for UBC.
Now, the leader of the Democratic Alliance, Patricia Mpango, emphasized the need for the government to address plight of neglected Ugandan children. He cited Patrick Mulwana, aka Alien Skin, and his colleagues, noting that rehabilitating such individuals would be more beneficial than condemning them.
The leader of the Democratic Alliance, Patricia Mpango, emphasized the need to address the plight of neglected ghetto children rather than condemning them. During the press conference of the DA, held at its headquarters in Namirembe, Kampala, Mpango specifically mentioned Patrick Mulwana, alias Alien Skin, as someone who needs support to change.
Of one of our allies, yes, we have so many allies with multiple characters. Fortunately for us, we are alive to their situation, which is why, as leaders, we cannot ignore these young people.
The DA leadership has recently focused on mobilizing and empowering ghetto youth as a key mission of its formation. Mpango pledged to continue supporting and uplifting these marginalized groups in society.
Young and talented people that have been ignored by society. In fact, their exhibition over the weekend is a confirmation of the fact that they have been ignored, and therefore they chose their own way. I'm here to inform you that we are not going to give up on them. We are not going to give up on Mr. Mulwana and others like him. We have a history of rescuing his ilk, and some of them have turned into very important citizens. So he will not be the first to be rescued. No, we have rescued many of his ilk. Some have even assumed very important national offices. So please, be assured that we are not going to give up.
On another note, he highlighted the need for comprehensive electoral reforms addressing inefficiencies caused by the large number of members of parliament.
If we want to devolve, then we must have some MP councillors in their areas and influence local issues. I'm not trying to really downplay their quality. No. You are not any less of quality because you're a councillor. You're a leader of your people. Some MPs can become governors of their communities. Who knows that his guarantee is going to be in the next parliament? So I'm speaking generally about myself and everyone else.
Matthias Mpuga also raised concerns about the recent directives aimed at abolishing police bonds and bail, urging caution and a thorough review of their implications.
Yeah, that myself and the colleagues in Parliament for the last 3 years have been pursuing justice for so many young activists that are rotting in jail, including the missing, for the last 4 years. So if any one of you thinks that that was a new statement from Mr. Museveni, I'm here to inform you that he was just reminding the country of what he's been doing. If any one of you thinks that that was a new statement from Mr. Museveni, I'm here to inform you that he was just reminding the country of what he's been doing. And therefore, there was nothing new.
Jamiru Sekaja compiled this report.
Now, the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Mpango, has advised Ugandans to utilize government roads by transporting agricultural merchandise in order to increase household income and fight poverty. Mpango was officiating the groundbreaking of a reconstruction of Gaga Swap Road in Kichusa Town Council, connecting Zirowe, Kichusa, Kasana in Luwero District.
While addressing people who had come to witness the groundbreaking of the construction of Gaga Swamp Road in Chichusa Town Council, connecting Zirowe, Chichusa, Kasana in Luwero District, State Minister for Higher Education Dr. John Chrysostom Mpango reaffirmed government's commitment to soon embark on the construction of Kabimbiri, Zirowe, Bamunani, Kawobulenzi Road, among others.
Affecting the road. Let's try to arrest it early. Government has given us those machines. They are at the district. Let's sit there. They are there. Let's work together and see that we really rescue our people from wasting that. Actually, I would call this wastage of their time, valuable time.
He further encouraged communities living along these roads to utilize them by transporting their agricultural produce in order to increase their incomes and also fight poverty.
Let's join hands. Let's do our best to see that we generate enough material to enable us to utilize these roads and sell to the market. The market is, I'm really seeing a situation, and I'm looking forward to a situation where all the matoke that is taken from Kampala, all the fruits, are coming from this area.
Communities in Chichusa and other road users commended both Dr. Jesse Muyenga and the Minister of Works for the commitment to improve roads in Bamunanika.
Kirungi nnyo oluguudo bagenda kulukola naye batuukidde okulukola nga lutwonoonedde ebidduka lwonoonye kinene nnyo kirungi nnyo okusooka okutulowoozaako naye kati kiseera kye tugendamu kya kampeyini
tusooka okwebaza olwa minisita waffe okuwulira omulanga gw'abantu. Kyamazima abantu bamutuuseeko ab'enjawulo olw'embeera y'ekkubo lino, ng'ekkubo lino lya mugaso nnyo, ne seminti ava mu kibuga Kampala oba ettolola ayita wano.
Isiza bubi nnyo ennaku enkulu tuziridde mu mbeera etali nnungi, abantu bamenyesa amagulu, ebidduka by'abantu bifudde, kale ng'omuntu oba omukoledde ekkubo yasobola okwirwa nnaku neyeenoonyeza ssente, naye embeera sinunyira kamulala kuba tufunye omukisa nti gatalesa okukolebwako.
Now, a section of music and events promoters under the Uganda Music Promoters Association has, with immediate effect, banned artists Pius Mayanja, also known as Palazzo, and Patrick Mulwana, known as Alien Skin, from performing at any music events across the country for a period of 90 days. The decision was announced during a media briefing in Kampala, led by events promoter turned Minister Balam Barugahara. The ban follows a recent altercation between the two artists and their respective camps.
The 31st December 2024 and 1st January 2025 altercations between artists Pius Mayanja, also known as Palazzo, and Patrick Mulwana, alias Alien Skin, continued drawing attention from members of the general public, mainly those in the music industry.
Those were regrettable incidences, and I pray that those incidences don't happen again, a pledge on behalf of government, we shall do whatever possible to dismantle the criminal gangs, the gangs that have been terrorizing people during concerts.
The latest to derive into this matter are music promoters under the umbrella of Uganda Music Promoters Association.
Eno industry gye tulimu y'abantu bategeera, naffe abategeka tutegeera. Era tubategeeza nti buli muntu yenna awulira nti ye wakulwana, wakukuba, wakuvuma nga muyimbi, ffe nga ffe abali wano tetumanya abalala kye bategeeza, neffe abali wano tetugenda kuddamu bategeka.
With immediate effect, music promoters have placed a ban on Fangon leader Mulwana Patrick alias Alien Skin and Palaso, deferring them from performing at any concerts across the entire country.
Isiza amawulire olwaleero kwe kubategeeza nti nga tuli wamu ne bapromota bannaffe bonna tubaaninze abayimbi bonna abatuusa obulabe ku bawagizi baffe nga bakulembeddwamu Alien Skin n'abayimbi abafana.
Tuwoninga Uganda Police tubawadde ennaku 5 bwe batemusobola kudismantlinga gangisi zammwe tugenda nyamba ku dismantle.
We have suspended them for 90 days, effective 1st January 2025, for a period of 90 days. And during this period, we shall enable police to do a thorough investigation and give us a comprehensive report on how, who funds, the people who fund the criminal gangs should be held responsible.
The 90 days ban calls for compliance from all industry players.
Wategeka abantu botegeka nabo. Naye ebizibu ebinakuwako bigenda kugwako nga ggwe. Totulajanira kozi ba promota bakama baffe eno ensonga jja gihandolinga nga ggwe wennyini.
For security is also being faulted by these promoters for holding back their hands as hooliganism takes over the music industry.
Guno omulimu gwe gufudde Abitex kyali, gwe gufudde Baramu kyali, gwe gufudde Bajjo kyali, gwe gufudde mutabanyi wa Gerard Kiwewa kyali. Kitegeeza batuguleka ne kugenda mu mikono gy'abalabe nga tukiipinze DFE nga Uganda Police bwekola.
Police mukoze kinene nnyo okuwaga Alien Skin okukola effujjo. Era police yevunaanyizibwa. Bemba temusobola kumujja mu bantu. Mu mutwale eyo bamuli habu amaleyo omwaka nga gumu nga beyetereza. Ffe tetugenda kukirinda.
Poliisi muganya okukola omulimu gwammwe. Poliisi tubeegayiridde mukole omulimu gwammwe nga poliisi. Kubanga abantu ombawulidde ebbanga ddene olimbu ayina eggaali n'oli ayina eggaali.
These musicians, certainly we are not going to allow them to create a reign of terror on the wananchis, and generally when the police is seeing, we are going to really take stand action.
However, the promoters now want police to act conclusively and apprehend whoever is being implicated in this racket.
Whoever participated in the activity or in the gang activity will be arrested and will be held accountable for his action. I've had a chat with the IGP. He has confirmed that he has set up a team which will do a thorough investigation and afterwards come up with a solution.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Now, a former journalist with the Daily Monitor, Resdel Kasasira, has tragically lost his life in a car accident. The accident occurred at Kalangala, Malyansimbi village along Liantonde Kashagama Road in the Greater Masaka sub-region.
Case of a fatal accident, single fatal accident whereby one passenger known as Kasasira Resdel, a male adult aged 45 years, a resident of Kashari, Mbara district. It is also alleged that this person works with the Daily Monitor. Him and other family members, including a wife, they were moving in a motor vehicle, a Fielder, number UBK 851Y, black in color. And when they reached a place called Kalagala, Malyansimbi village along Liantonde Kashagama Road, within Liantonde district, it overturned and lost control, ending up falling in a water trench, thereby killing one person and injuring 3. Other injured people, we have 2 juveniles, one called Intone Adetha, male juvenile 5 years, and Nowanji Elerio, female juvenile 3 years, and Nshimire Charlotte 36 years, who is allegedly to be the driver of this motor vehicle. We condemn the acts of our drivers over speeding because according to the eyewitnesses and our traffic personnel, it has been proved beyond reasonable doubt that this lady was over speeding, which caused her to cause this accident. We condole the family for the loss of their dear one, and we are going to make sure that we investigate this matter to the conclusion.
The Executive Director, Uganda Communications Commission, Nyombe Thembo, has encouraged media practitioners to publish and broadcast well-researched content, especially as the country prepares for the 2026 general elections. Thembo says the media must follow the laid-down regulations to avoid hate speech and misinformation, among others, since the industry is very vital to the economic development of the country.
Media industry stakeholders have been challenged to uphold ethical reporting and avoid hate speech and sensational reporting, vices that might cause chaos up to the 2026 general elections. While addressing NRM supporters at Kyamuswa, Kiganda, at his country home in Kassanda district, the Executive Director, Uganda Communications Commission, Nyombe Thembo, cautioned media practitioners against publicizing content that might risk the country's peace and security.
Whatever content you put on air, whatever content you put online, ensure that you are responsible enough. There is no where you will have rights which are not backed up by responsibility. Wherever there are rights, there must be responsibility on the other hand. And of course, the media fraternity, you know very well that you are licensed entities.
In the meeting that was attended by, among others, a cross-section of NRM supporters from Kassanda district, Nyombe Thembo reiterated the importance of unity among NRM members in order to regain the party's glory in some areas of Kassanda.
Let us listen to the guidance given to us, especially by the president. Let us take the opportunity that comes along with the macroeconomic stability we see in this country, from the stability we see from this country.
The presidential advisor on politics, Jenny Senoga, commended Nyombe Thembo for being patriotic to the party and encouraged the members to be united and avoid bickering, especially in the forthcoming 2026 general elections.
Kubanga singa twali twagaza nti omwami ono yayiseemu katugende n'oyo ate n'obunafu bwaffe obulala bannaffe bano abakulembeze baffe tebafuddeeyo nga kati ffe tulina chairman wa NRM owa district mulungi naye tazze mu kuyita abantu okukakkanya emyoyo gy'abantu bano bonna abaako.
After the meeting, some of the attendees shared their views regarding their support to the ruling NRM party. Abdunasir Lugama and Fred Kasibante for UBC.
The Office of the National Chairman of the National Resistance Movement has announced its 2025 plans, which focus on youth entrepreneurship, raising awareness about government programs, and campaigning for President Yoweri Museveni's re-election. Hadija Namialo, head of the office, shared these plans in an interview with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation.
In 2024, the Office of the National Chairman successfully implemented initiatives focused on empowering youth, monitoring government programs, and providing essential items to boost the economy.
And 2025, we are going to proceed with our empowerments to ensure that
people get what they deserve, to ensure that the youth benefit from the system besides the government policies or the government programs. We still have the yoga, we still have the parish model. Yes, His Excellency is moving around and he's going back. He's going to embark on his journey of preaching the gospel of wealth creation through parish development model, yoga.
This year, Hajat Hadia Namyalo emphasized that their focus areas include providing youth with entrepreneurship incentives, educating people on productive farming, and reaching out to the masses to garner support for the President's re-election.
His Excellency the President is preaching in terms of the elections, when you are electing our leaders, in terms of development. It's going to be a key factor that is going to determine what will happen in the years later. So we call upon all Ugandans to be focused, remain focused, don't be diverted by self-seekers.
As the election campaign approaches, Namyalo cautioned the youth against deceitful politicians who fail to deliver on their promises.
Vote wisely, vote minds, don't vote for dense people, don't vote for people who had no value to you guys. Let us vote for a purpose, not for fun.
The office of the national chairman wished Ugandans a happy, prosperous and cooperative new year. The Office of the National Chairman 2025 plan aligns with the NRM party's manifesto, which aims to promote economic prosperity, improve household incomes, and ensure socio-economic transformation.
And our office will be moving around to ensure that some of these things are fully implemented. If they are not, we write out to the national chairman and ask him, Your Excellency, this was in your manifesto, why hasn't it lived to its full expectation?
Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Joseph Moyingo for UBC.
And in the agricultural sector, Uganda stands higher chances of benefiting economically from the upcoming African Union Summit on Agriculture. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, General David Kasura Chomokama, sees an opportunity for Uganda and Africa to advance further the agenda of food security and commercialize agriculture. This, he said, while assessing the extent of preparedness at Speck Resort Munyonyo, where he encouraged Ugandans to fully embrace the summit in order to yield out of the three-day engagement.
Ready to host African farmers in Uganda, government officials have been taken through an assessment tour on the level of preparedness at Speck Resort Munyonyo. The group, led by Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, General David Kasura, is satisfied.
We are about 90% ready. We have the venue, we have accommodation, we are prepared vis-a-vis the conference hall. We have a very beautiful conference hall, and I want to commend the chairman of the Ruparelia group, Mr. Sudhir. It's really commendable. This conference hall, if you did not have the word Uganda on it, you would think you're in London or somewhere else.
But behind this preparedness lies several opportunities for Uganda and the entire African continent. Food security and commercial agriculture remain a top-notch agenda that the continent should embrace for purposes of prosperity.
This summit is an opportunity for us to showcase our country. It's an opportunity for us to impose the narrative, to reinforce the narrative that we are a stable, beautiful, productive, well-mannered, and nice country. We are known all over the world for our smiles. We are known all over the world for having beautiful people. We are known all over the world for being very accommodative, for being people who receive visitors very well. Now, add to this, because anybody who has all these characteristics should add to this the ability to make some bit of money.
This is in line with the theme of the upcoming extraordinary summit. The Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program, CADIP, is due to take place in Kampala, Uganda.
It will make us more independent. It will give us the capacity to map our own destinies, and it will improve our capacity to work together towards ensuring that the Africa we want is the Africa that we can get. It is criminal in this young age, 2025, to have we who are endowed by nature to be relying on other people to ensure our survival. I think CADAP is going to help us to put another foundation stone towards ensuring that we are independent and that we don't rely on many other people for our future.
CADIP, as goes its short form, is a 2063 continental initiative aimed at helping African countries eliminate hunger and reduce poverty through agriculture-led development. In Uganda, it is taking place from 9th to 11th January 2025 at Peak Resort Munyonyo, with the country standing at 90% level of preparedness. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Stop breathing. To be a winner, you must breathe only when necessary. Breathing is for losers. What is that? Did I give you permission to sweat? You can sweat in your free time. Push the arms straight.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Welcome back from that short break as News Tonight continues with our second segment. Chinese charity-oriented persons living in Uganda with Godfrey Luyomba Foundation have donated to the vulnerable and elderly persons in Nakawa Division. This was in Kalere village in Nakawa Division near Kampala, and they also attended by the area leaders.
Nakawa Division vulnerable communities have begun the new year 2025 at a high notch, courtesy of Godfrey Luyomba Foundation, who gifted them with assorted goodies. The vulnerable were given sugar, soap, bread, basins and clothes among others to help them begin the new year 2025 in style.
Students, I chose to give back to the community by donating soap, rice, posho, beans, a bucket, a cup, to help the needy people.
It feels amazing, you know, to be in this position. We're very lucky, we're very fortunate, and to be able to give back to the community in need is special, you know.
The beneficiaries included the elder and persons with disabilities.
Mukisa gwange ogusoose okugabirwa ku bintu bino bwe bagenda okuyita bayita bakadde nze nga bansosolamu nti toli mukadde ne neebuuza ndi ludda ndi muvubuka ndi mukadde.
Musanyufu nnyo okufuna ku bintu bino gwe ku mikisa goose nali nze sibifunangako naye nga tuwulira buwulize eri bagabye naye ng'obiraba ku TV.
They expressed their gratitude for the assistance rendered to them.
Saba mukaba kunyamba bikira mali owekisa ankuume nyongerweyo emyaka 25.
Nini myaka mikakati?
Nne myaka 8 mwena yamba batuyambye abaana era tubasabira omukisa.
Nakawa Division Speaker Godfrey Luyomba, who is also the founder of Godfrey Luyomba Foundation, wants government to revise upwards the monthly stipend to the elderly under social assistance grants for empowerment's sake.
We appreciate the support of the government to the elderly community, but the support is very minimal. The government, through its initiative of SAGE, they give the elderly each elderly 25,000 per month. But on average, it means that you're giving an elder person 800 shillings a day. But what can 800 shillings do in a given day? It can't even buy charcoal that can make the beans that we have given them ready. So we are beseeching the authorities to revise the rates that we are giving to these people. At least on an average, let on a daily, an elderly get 3,000 shillings from the government, and that equates to 90,000 in a given month.
Luyombia wants the 80-year age limit for SAGE project beneficiaries to be lowered from 80 years to 70 and demanded special care given to the elderly.
Tell me that we are going to give SAGE the 25,000 to older persons ranging from 80 and above. Having 80 years, my dear brother and sister who is watching me, it is critically very hard. That's why we are requesting that at least let us reduce on the number of years from 80 to 60.
Chinese donors explained that the idea of giving back to those in need was adopted from their father Zhong Shuanga Kwan, who is known for supporting communities for long.
To give back to community, so it's always really nice to come here and help the people in need.
Yeah, same. Looking up to our parents, seeing them give back, it also motivates us to do the same, and hopefully we'll do this more in the future.
Watching my parents donate makes me want to donate more and make the people more happy.
The Vice Chairman Kalera Zoni in Nakawa, who is also the head of persons with a disability, William Nagaya, disclosed that vulnerable communities are facing a number of challenges. He, however, appreciated the donors for the timely support.
Anyway, we face a lot of problems, especially some people will lack some crutches. But now, as the one who is promising to, let's be the speaker, has done something to facilitate those people with such crutches and wheelchairs like that.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Quite a beautiful cause there. Now, as we move ahead, the Paramount Chief of Lango has called for development of historical sites in Lango region, noting that such initiatives could boost tourism. He made these remarks during a visit from the newly elected clan head of Okarawok Bako, the one Nyachi.
His Highness Yosamudure B, the Paramount Chief of Lango, expressed concern over the deteriorating state of historical sites in Lango sub-region. Among these important but underdeveloped sites are the center of Uganda in Amolatar, Kangai in Tokolo district, where Kabaka Mwanga and Kabalega were once hidden and arrested by the colonialists, the famous footprints on Ibuja Rock in Apache, and the Lango entry point at the border of Otuke and Abim district.
Kabaka kereke mukama utota mani iwot kwene iwot poni ye Uganda lor da yerla do mito magdiere kele jona yadanga tek.
While receiving the newly elected clan head of Okarawok Bako, the Wonyasi urged him to collaborate with other clan heads and the cabinet to ensure the development of these historical sites for the benefit of future generations.
When a clan leader is elected, he's enthroned, and before he's enthroned, he pays a visit to the Wonyachi, the overall leader of Lango, but he also is very appreciative for President Museveni for whatever he has done for Uganda at large and what he has done for Lango in particular. He's very happy. So I'm so happy about the reception.
The NRM's Director for External Affairs, Major Retired Paul Awich, is the new clan head of Okarwok Bako. He was introduced yesterday to His Highness by the Prime Minister, Fred Ogwaluye.
But most of my developmental activities will be in my community. I will encourage a lot of production. We have fertile land. We traditionally keep lots of animals, cows and goats. So I'll encourage them to do that.
His Highness emphasized the importance of hard work and encouraged all subjects to prioritize education of their children. The Paramount Chief also expressed his gratitude to President Museveni for fulfilling his pledge to develop the Lango Palace and for appointing his subjects to key positions. Edi Ulwa, UBC News.
And on the business desk, the question of rice cultivation in wetland has led to the suggestion of an alternative practice such as fish farming along Uganda's wetland borders. However, the full-scale success of this approach has yet to be realized in many parts of the country. But what if Uganda had fully embraced the Vice President, Professor Gilbert Bukenya's Upland rice growing project? What would happen?
Let us go back to the book of Genesis, where God commanded that let the dry land be separated from the water. It says in chapter 1,
This was President Yoweri Museveni on 31st December 2024. It was his last address of the year. The head of state was concerned that wetlands were still being degraded.
why do you build in a wetland? Why do you build in a wetland? Don't you know that one day that house will be swept away?
This is the remote wetland that the president has always talked about. The last time we visited it was in 2018. Progress had been registered. District officials from both Kibuku and Parisa were optimistic.
Instead of them going for rice cultivation, which had become now seasonal, they now grow crops throughout the year.
However, a few years later, rice growers returned to the wetland.
We should amend the law, which is very clear that the wetland, this is what they call a wetland. Not every pot where the water gets stuck is a wetland.
It has since remained wetland this, wetland that on rice growing.
Down there in Ngenge.
But what would the fate of rice growers be today had the country embraced Professor Gilbert Bukenya's Upland rice growing project? The year was 2003. Professor Gilbert Bukenya, then Vice President of Uganda, had traveled to Thailand, where he noticed 100% of the country depended on rice. Curious, he wanted to see how rice was grown. And that is how he was driven to a place he describes as the heatland.
We went into the fields and I was amazed that the science was in Uganda, but the science had not left where it is being produced to the communities. I was a bit upset actually, but they made me to get in contact with Sasakawa.
Sasakawa was a private organization promoting a variety of local seeds. He was then introduced to Nerika 3, a rice variety developed by both Africa and Japan to grow in the uplands. Here in Africa, it had been developed in Uganda and Nigeria. Amazed, he asked for some seeds, which he planted on 1 acre of his farm and harvested 2.5 tons.
Almost 95% of the rice was being imported from Pakistan, from Gujarat in India, and a bit of it from Malaysia. And, someone told me, in Pakistan at the bay, they have silos of rice, and the silos are written on for Uganda, then this rice goes, and most of the silos were written on African names.
After this successful experiment, it was extended to other parts of the country. Greater Luero, including Nakasongola, were destined to benefit, as well as the northern and western parts of the country. Acholi and Karamoja, Kisoro and Bundibujo were earmarked. The success of the upland rice in these areas, however, Bukenya says were politicized.
I was amazed by particularly a politician who mixed up politics with a very essential food security item, discouraging it to be grown. Let me tell you, one minister, whose name I will not say, went around shouting, Bukenya is finishing our swamps, Bukenya is finishing our forests, because he is growing rice in the water. I never promoted any rice grown in water. Never.
But how far would this have gone had the country fully embraced it? We spoke to some environment and climate change advocates.
If that had been taken seriously, I don't think by now we would be going through this. Because when you look at some of these floods, it is coming as a result of encroachment on wetland. And the most activities that is being done along the wetland are rice farming.
Not everyone is totally in agreement.
Upland rice can be additional. It can be an option because it will reduce demand for lowland rice. So we should promote upland rice, but it may not be a replacement entirely for lowland rice, because globally I am not aware of any country where upland rice is higher in productivity than lowland rice.
There are still people, including me. Last year I planted, I got about 70 bags. Actually, I have not yet sold them. But I'm even thinking, how much have I invested? How much am I going to get from it? Now, we have the competing inflow rice, like from our neighboring countries. With the East African spirit, how do we prevent theirs coming in?
But what makes these upland rice varieties different from their lowland counterparts, aside from being a complement to wetland restoration efforts? Here are Professor Bukenya's other reasons.
The Asian tigers, and they're called Asian tigers, all of them depend on rice. In their place they can grow banana. In their place they can grow cassava. In their places they can also grow corn. But they depend entirely on rice. They eat it for breakfast. They eat it for lunch. They drink it as alcohol in the evening. And they eat it for supper. And they are brainy. In fact, the Europeans fear them. They are brainy, actively producing many things which here in Africa should have produced.
Rice continues to be one of the most grown and consumed food crops that turned into a cash crop in Uganda. However, where it is grown in the wetlands remains a concern for environmental experts and the country. Henry Okrut, UBC.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, Ray Dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Now quickly into sports. Ibrahim Sejemba and Marin Kisache have become respective gender champions of the 2025 KV Pool Arena New Year's Invitational Pool Championship that has climaxed in Nyendo, Masaka. This tournament was purely invitational and played on a rare group phase format with 4 groups for men and women, with progression to quarterfinals, semi-finals and the finals.
Uganda's top 16 male players and their 12 women counterparts have over the past 2 days contested the 2025 KV Pool Arena New Year's Invitational Pool Championship, hosted at KV Pool Arena in Nyendo, Masaka. This tournament was purely invitational and played on a rare group phase format with 4 groups for the men and women, with progression to the quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals.
Kati twagala tutandike okubaako tournament zetuteekateeka nga twongera okwongeramu abazannyi b'e Masaka amaanyi tubeere nga tuvuganya ku level ey'eggwanga lyonna.
It attracted some of the best in the country, including Cesar Chandiga, Joseph Kasozi, Gloria Senyonjo, Michelle Nandaula, Angela Businje, Juliet Namuhanga, and 2 Zambians, Moses Myofa and Kelvin Nkando.
Invitation, 1 New Year's, the new invitation. Bayagadde okulondamu abazannyi abalungi abasinza okukola obulungi omwaka 2024 era bwe tunuulira abazannyi bonna abazze wano ojja kulaba be bawanguzi abazze bazannya obulungi mu tournament zonna ezibadde mu Uganda. Bazibadde Upland, bazibadde za Pau, bazibadde webadde Leach. Ze twagenze tutunuulira ne tuwa invitation abaweza invitation abazannyi amakumi 40.
To Pool Association of Uganda, such tournaments is what they need as they look to fit within the new law, and especially the transition into a federation whose major parameter is 75% coverage of the country.
We're going to target to see that at least within that window, we can be able to apply at least at a minimum to become a federation as part of the conversion from an association of pool to a federation for pool in Uganda. So we'll see how that journey goes. But part of these treks, as you call them, are to be able to sense, check, and see how the different upcountry locations and upcountry venues are getting themselves ready for that conversion.
After edging nemesis Lukia Naiga in the semi-finals, Marian Kisache, who is the reigning Nile Special Open Pool champion, came up against Naiga's sister Rashida Mutesi, whom she beat 7-1 to claim the 600,000 shillings top prize, plus an additional 200,000 from the Pool Association of Uganda President Bob Trebish. Lukia Naiga edged Vicky Namuyanja to take third place that came with a 100,000 shillings cash reward. In the men's category, Ibrahim Sejemba outclassed Simon Luburwa to set up a Kelvin Nkandu final. Sejemba dominated and walloped Nkandu 11-1 to win the grand 2 million shillings top prize, onto which he added 300,000 from the Pool Association of Uganda President Bob Trebish. Simon Luburwa defeated Ibrahim Kayanja to claim third spot that earned him 600,000 Uganda shillings, while second placed Nkandu bagged 1 million shillings, and Kayanja for fourth walked home with 300,000.
Tournaments are so beneficial in one way or the other. One, it is a social way of meeting, and you get friendships and build relationships besides winning prizes. The other major issue is another way of earning a living. Most players, they win this tournament and they get money in terms of prizes that helps them to boost their family earnings.
The championship, achieved with partners like Addis Sport, Kagwa Sports Club, Coffee Village and KV Pool Arena, coincides with the 4 years of KV Pool Arena and starts a feisty year whose next Double Life tournament in March will give the winner 4 million Uganda shillings.
Well, that's it from us. Thank you so much once again for joining us. But as we sign out, let's have that recap on our headlines. Wait.
Inspiring Uganda.
Yes, a very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. We thank you so much for following our programs, especially this one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa, the whole year 2024. Here we are 2025 with more constructive discussions pertinent to your life, your family, your community, and the beautiful Pearl of Africa. Happy New Year. I wish you the best of 2025. Congratulating you having passed through 2024. Here we are in 2025. But how do we enter 2025? What shall we have to show at the end of this year that we have begun? And how do we reach? You see, they normally say the process justifies the end. The means justifies the end. So shall we just pass through 2025? What are we going to show at the end of the year? Come 31st December 2025. What will you have to show? How we get to that is what we have come to examine. And we are going to pay some attention to listen to somebody I will consider successful, not only in what he does, but he also shares this kind of information on telling people what to do and how to handle different things, especially work-related, innovations, business, entrepreneurship, and more so, he is a young man. We are a country that has the population of people below 50, over 80%. So we still need that motivation, taking examples of people that have genuine, real story. He's an educated man. He has his senior 4, senior 6, a bachelor's degree in botany and chemistry, and a master's degree in pharmacognosy. He will tell us that word better. He is an award-winning Young Innovator of KCCA, that is 2015, Private Sector Foundation Winner of the Year 2016, Pakasa Most Innovative Entrepreneur 2017, Best Services and Utilities of the Year, Uganda Manufacturers Association 2018, 2019, UMA Association Innovator of the Year still, plus many more awards. I last talked to him in 2014.